Hello water signs, Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. I've been guided this week to do a past life reading for all the collective elemental zodiac signs. So this is for all water signs together. Okay. And as always, it's going to be very general, so please take what resonates and leave the rest. And let's welcome in the high frequency archangels, ascendant masters, light beings, spirit guides, and our higher selves to assist with this reading. Yeah, my microphone is there, just checking. And let's see, first of all, what's going to jump out here. I think I've been guided to do the past life readings because, as many of us know, past lives can have an impact on our current life. Okay, so we may still be carrying some of the traumas and the energies from those past lives, particularly if we've had, similar traumas or similar difficulties within several of our past lives. Okay, not just one of them, because sometimes they can be a bit harder to shake those energies. Okay, let's see what's going to come out for you, water signs. So if your sun, moon, Venus or ascendant is in any of the signs of Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, this reading may resonate, or parts of it may. Let's see what's going to jump. Okay, Ace of Wands. So regarding this past life, there may have been a beginning, or maybe it was the beginning of this past life. There was something at the start of your life that perhaps happened. Let's have a look. Eight of Cups. So, I mean, maybe at a young age you had to move, maybe you had to migrate. Maybe something happened to one of your parents or both of your parents, and you had to move in some way, maybe location. Let's have a look. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, so I think you were young and you were, embarking on a new venture. Maybe this happened in your teens, or sort of before the age of 25 is what I'm kind of getting from this. So this is the Nine of Pentacles. So I think back then, it's looking like there was someone around you who was very supportive, or there's some environment that was, or someone that you learned from that was passionate about what they were doing, and they were relatively abundant as well. So here we have the Queen of Swords. Okay, and the Ten of Swords. We'll just go through these cards quickly and then I'll have a look at them in a moment. The Ace of Cups. So this is a new spiritual beginning. This is more referring to your current life now. The Empress. Kind of similar to this Nine of Pentacles here in that past life. So this could be very grounded, loving spirit guides, that divine feminine guides around you at the moment. This is your hopes or fears. Okay, so 10 of Wands. I think maybe you're not wanting to do things the hard way. Maybe, we'll see how this reading develops. 9 of Cups. Emotional fulfillment and happiness and contentment at the end. Lovers. Okay, so I think you're coming into greater contact with your higher self. Let's just have a look here. I also have been guided to grab 3 extra cards. So there's some healing that's going on here with regard to this, the effect of this past life. You could be still healing some effects of that. Okay, the World. But things are going to come into balance for you. Okay, you're going to have some success in releasing this. So something that's flipped there. Let's have a look. So we have 2 cards flipped. We'll go with both of these. So we have the 8 of Swords and the 8 of Wands. So 2 8s. These are very different energies. This is not feeling free, feeling restricted or limited. This is the kind of the opposite. So feeling like the world is your oyster. You have freedom, you have, abundance, you have a good mind, body, spirit balance. You have your material life and your spiritual life in hand here. This one is not so much. So maybe it's about looking at, let's just grab, sorry, I'll stop myself mid-sentence. We also have the Four. This is about you trusting yourself, having faith in yourself and moving forward, okay? I'm just going to pause this energy for a moment, and I'll get back to you in a millisecond. Okay, water signs, we're just going to clarify that the center there, the Ace of Wands and the Eight of Cups. My feeling is that there is a sense of kind of like abandonment, or that you had to step out into the unfamiliar. But sometimes the Eight of Cups is about releasing things and moving into the unknown. However, at the start, this was very, optimistic and positive, a lot of potential for growth here. So let's just see. I'm just going to clarify that Ace of Wands, or it could mean that that this life was very spiritual for you, and what you did was that you moved towards that, at a fairly young age. You weren't old when you did that. Okay, Queen of Swords. So I think this was a decision, I think this is to do with the nature of the life here. So this was a spiritual life that you decided to move towards, and that you did this in alignment with your own sense of personal truth. You have double Queen of Swords now. So your own sense of personal truth, but also being compassionate, okay, with yourself here. And I think, yes, you were indeed looking for something else, something new, maybe a new way of life. Okay. Maybe there was it could be like a new location. Maybe you had to move from where you were living, but you did have success. Okay, you were able to create a secure life for yourself there. Let's have a look at. It's going to clarify the. Okay, that's probably too many. So it could be that at the moment you're looking to do an Eight of Cups move and move towards something more fulfilling. Okay. The reading is saying you have done that before. Okay, you've done that before with success. There may have been things about that, however, that were challenging for you. Okay, maybe there were some challenges that happened, or someone challenged you. You do have the Queen of Swords here as well. So this is to clarify the Page of Wands, which is the Ten of Wands. So this is like you did actually work very hard. Okay, you worked really hard to achieve this here. Okay, and that, or maybe this was someone that helped you. Okay, you also have the Ten of Wands in your current energy, which is really interesting. So you're no stranger to hard work, water signs. You've done this before. Let's clarify that Queen of Swords. Oh my goodness. Okay, we probably don't need half the deck to clarify the Queen of Swords, but Queen of Swords is definitely that energy of wisdom and understanding and compassion. And it could simply be that later on in life, that you, I guess, acquired a certain degree of wisdom and compassion and understanding. Okay. Let's just see. We just need something to. There we go. We have a flip. Okay, clarify the Queen of Swords. We have the Knight of Wands. So this could have been something happened. I have a feeling that maybe you were deposed, okay? If you became a person of authority, maybe you were a leader of a town or a village or something like that, that, because we have the next card is this one, like maybe there was something that came in, you know, and ended your life, so to speak. You know, maybe you weren't that old, you know, maybe 30s or 40s when that happened. Yeah, I get the feeling here that maybe you know, you left home at a fairly young age, okay, and you went and you must have built your skills and learnt some things. Maybe you took up a trade or something like that, and you really applied yourself to that and became really good at it. Hence, you were able to, you know, create a nice life for yourself. Yeah. You know, we do have this in the overall, one of the guidance is that you have had this balance before of, you know, freedom, abundance, and balancing your responsibilities, okay? So if you are feeling restricted at the moment, the thing I'm coming through now is that maybe there's a part of you that because you acquired all of this abundant life and you then had responsibilities and you were in a leadership role of sorts, but then you were sort of killed for that, okay? You could have an internal resistance to creating abundance for yourself now because subconsciously you may be associating, you know, abundance with death, if I can say that, okay? Because, you know, you actually engaged in hard work, but it's almost like maybe you have a fear of moving into something with passion and with dedication and really applying yourself. Maybe you have a fear of that because when you did it in a past life, because you were killed probably not long after acquiring that, maybe you've kind of like gone, well, that's not going to work for me. If I do that, I'm going to be killed. You know, our subconscious can work like that, okay? But this, at the moment, this is a beautiful unconditional love. So it doesn't matter what you've been through. Okay, this is source. And you're probably feeling this at the moment. You're probably feeling a whole lot of high frequency stuff coming in. You know, and you've also got the Empress around you here. Okay, you've got the Empress. So this is really abundant, beautiful, loving spirit guides as well that are here to comfort and support you as you move beyond this fear or this pattern. Can you clarify the Ten of Swords? No, we didn't. We're going to do that now. Okay, water signs. Right, we have two come out. We have the Emperor and the Star. So whilst you may have been killed, or you may have, you know, and then your soul has kind of taken on this idea that, you know, abundance is not to be had because it's going to end in this. This is all going to be released because this is hope, the Star, it's hope and alignment, self-belief, okay? And this is that this card keeps coming up. Oh, this isn't the Emperor, this is the Ace of Cups again. This is abundant creativity, source connection. Spirit has your back. This is the power of the unconditional love that's going to help you to move through this fear of creating abundance. Okay, and not only that, the overall energy for the reading is that you have your own divine masculine and feminine aspects are being supported by your higher self. This is like a divine, godlike source kind of energy here that is overseeing your well-being, overseeing your development and growth here. And yeah, you have lots of yellow in your reading, so you're moving up in frequency here, water signs, you know, high frequency. Yeah, and you do have the Three of Swords, so there's definitely a healing. There's something that you're releasing, and it could be this fear of, You know, many of us, strangely enough, do have fear of success. We have fear of abundance. We deep down subconsciously, we either feel that it's dangerous, that we don't deserve it, that we're not worthy of it, that, you know, there's a whole lot of things. And the things that play into that are past traumas, can be past life stuff, because we have every right to success and abundance. It is our birthright, because this is why we're here. And the other thing too is that it's not for the faint of heart to be down here on earth at this time. And the thing is, if any beings in the universe deserve abundance, it's freaking us, because you know how much shit we've been through. Okay, so we deserve this abundance, this unconditional love, support, spirit connection, everything. Like, you couldn't get much more supportive cards coming through to clarify this 10 of Swords here. Okay, this could be death and endings and exhaustion and, you know, done, dead, done, over with. But the thing you hear is that what's being carried through, I think, is maybe a fear of abundance. But we have every right to it. Okay, you have every right to it here, water signs. And so there's definitely going to be this moving on from feeling restricted and limited. You know, this could be that past life had sort of left us feeling like that. And the irony is, you know, even though we've experienced this, because maybe we have suffered, we were killed not long after that, we can kind of compute that, oh, so that goes with that. Okay, so death goes with abundance. Okay, so which is really weird, I know, but, you know, this is how the reading's kind of coming out and what it's saying to me at the moment. So yeah, I don't think we need to clarify this Ace of Cups. This is just, you know, unconditional love, source, connection, abundance, and I think you're feeling into that at the moment. This is your beautiful Empress support energy. You know, you have a fear of devoting and dedicating yourself to something, because there could be a belief, deep belief, that, you know, you don't deserve the rewards of that. Okay, this can also be, you know, that maybe you're not wanting to work as hard as you did before to create some abundance. Let's clarify that 10 of Wands right there. But the beautiful thing is you have the 9 of Cups at the end of your reading here, which is emotional fulfillment. You have your past life, you had the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, in this life, you've got the Cup 9, which is your spiritual fulfillment, your emotional fulfillment, your creative fulfillment. It's, you know, kind of resonating with this beautiful unconditional love. Okay, so yeah, and I think Spirit's going to be helping you to fill up those cups. Right, 10 of Wands is clarified by the 5 of Wands. So this is, you know, about competition. This could be inner conflict. Maybe you're conflicted about dedicating or devoting yourself to something, or you might be feeling uncomfortable about pushing yourself, and that's fine too. It's about finding that balance of how much you feel that you need to be working in all reasonableness. Okay, we also have the 4 of Pentacles. A really nice energy to complement this is about becoming present, just aligning with your center. And maybe it's a case of, you know, not having to work so hard at things. Maybe just for a time, working so that you can just cover yourself, cover your bases, and look after your own, you know, financial well-being. And maybe, you know, maybe look into your finances and just see, you know, how much money do you really need, all that type of thing. But you have the Empress here, so, you know, you have a lot of abundance coming in as well. 9 of Cups into your reading here, you know. Yeah, and the Lovers is about you finding your passion here as well. Let's just clarify that 9 of Cups. Oh, it's too many. 1 will be perfect, the Moon. Okay, so this is a Pisces energy, okay. And yeah, this is about you, I guess, finding out what's true for you, okay. And, you know, looking at all those subconscious things. Maybe there's some creative or intuitive or spiritual gifts that you have that you are held in your subconscious that are going to help you to feel this emotional fulfillment connection. Okay. I'm just going to clarify the lovers there as well. You know, I think this is Page of Wands. So this is a new passion. Okay, there's lots of fire in this reading for you water signs. So you are really kind of igniting your spirit, your purpose. I feel, and here you are trusting the universe to really step into your high frequency version of yourself. Okay, yeah, so I think you're releasing that fear of sphere of abundance, even though you're no stranger to be able to create that. This could be about giving yourself permission to move into that energy, okay, to really allow yourself to experience that. For your water signs, that's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Let's see what the Sacred Forest Oracle has to say. And, okay, I'm just going to cut the deck and grab a couple. Sanctuary. Yeah, this is kind of in alignment with the Four of Pentacles here, is about, you know, just becoming present. And, you know, if you wanted to just, I guess, meditate on this past life, it would be looking at a time, you know, when you sort of experience success in life, and then what happened a little while after that. You know, maybe it was a few years after that. You know, something may have happened that I guess could potentially be traumatic, but then it's about bringing love to that, okay? You have two Aces of Cups. It's about bringing spiritual love and compassion, understanding and forgiveness to that situation, and acknowledging any fears that were carried through, and then giving yourself permission to release that now, okay? Healing also came up for the air signs just a moment ago. So healing, yep, definitely. Okay, so there's something healing, and I think many of us have blocks to our abundance, blocks to perhaps creative expression, intuitive expression, spiritual expression. Okay, and this is what I think we are working through and processing this at the moment, because it's all held in the subconscious. Okay, and there could be some, maybe water signs, you have some subconscious blocks, as I think all the signs probably may have. If that resonates, and if you feel you may have some, you know, some subconscious blocks that are, I guess, impacting your ability to move forward in different in an area of life, or a couple of areas of your life that you're wanting to move forward in. Okay. It could be subconscious healing. And sometimes we need to do this, take some time out, go to a sanctuary, just contemplate past lives, you know, what it was that we went through, new beginnings, yeah. And then after we've released that, forgiven that experience, and forgiven our tendency to, you know, carry the blocks or carry the heavy energies, we can then start experiencing new beginning after that, okay. And here we have Passage. Yeah, these some of these cards keep coming up in the readings, which could mean that if you're meditating, you know, visualize yourself going through a passage and opening a door at the end of this long corridor. If you're deeply, you know, being deeply relaxed, and then visualize yourself stepping into this past life, particularly that time when things were really abundant and everything was awesome. This was your Nine of Pentacles, okay, your Nine of Pentacle life. And you may have, you know, moved up into a position of authority, or an elder, or a respected person, okay, that was able to, you know, be fair but compassionate, okay. And then, you know, unfortunately, as many of us have experienced in past lives, you know, something went down here. It may have been, you know, the Knight of Wands is a very impetuous energy. You know, there could have been something there that happened. Maybe you were deposed or dethroned or whatever that was, and then just acknowledge that, view it, breathe, just remember to keep breathing, okay. And then ask yourself, what were the I guess, the negative imprints that you've been carrying, and that you now extend love, unconditional love, to those negative imprints, and you're going to move forward and release that in this current life. Okay, let's just, yeah, focus. Okay. I really like looking at these cards. So, yeah, generosity. I think you were actually a very generous being, and I think, you know, generous person in that past life. And that could well be why, you know, people, I think you were sort of created quite an abundance. Maybe you were able to generate wealth, and you're able to, you know, support people and around you. But someone was after what you had, okay? So that can also be a fear that, you know, for many of us, that if we put in the work, that someone's going to be after us. There's all sorts of little fears that we can have that we hold on to, but it's up to you to identify yours, you know, if that resonates. So, water signs, that's what I have for you. Hope that's been helpful. Look forward to our next reading. In the meantime, have a great day, great week, and I'll see you again soon.